we're here. I'll get werewolf out of the way. Oops, hold on, let me put that on don't disturb. Seems to be running normal. Hi, Daves. I should probably tweet this. I'm starting way later than I thought it would be. Hold on. More technical difficulties, I guess. Wait, I had one more thing I gotta do. Not here just yet, but starting soon now. Alright, it seems to be working well. Yeah, I just had to I have two keyboards. One is a mechanical keyboard, and the other is not. So I wanted to switch them so you don't hear the clickety clacks. Yeah. You'll hear my cat a lot. You'll hear the cat a... Hi. So this is the beginner's guide. I don't know how to explain it. I guess it's I don't know, is it an indie game? Are all games indie games? It's made by the same people who made the Stanley Parable, which is a game that I've never played yet before, but I've played this game. Yeah, I've played this game back when I was 14. That was like 6 years ago from now. It had a huge impact on me, and definitely helped me through like a hard time in my life back then. I know, 14. How are you already sad? But whatever. I don't know how to go on from that, so let's just begin. I'm a little quiet. Apologies in advance, and I probably won't talk much because there's a lot of dialogue. I'll let this guy do the talking.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote the Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the...
I'm so sorry, I just realized Werewolf was still on stream. That was funny. I wish he could stay, but... yeah. Okay. Also, I'm gonna... Does it have to be... I don't know. I'm scared to do it. Let's just continue. I'll just deal with this.
simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video...
This takes away from... I don't know... Sorry, I could see that it's still pretty laggy. Let's see, was it 35? Let's try that.
Video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the game.
I'm still trying to figure out all the streaming stuff. I could see that it's still...
Games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, It's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
It's a little, I know, I could see that the stream is a little laggy. I don't care about that. Oh, shit. That's cute.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Whisper. I like that name. I don't have much to say. I hope it isn't too loud. It's kind of loud on my end. I've recently rediscovered this game.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
And it's
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin shooting activation.
oh, there it is. Am I too quiet?
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
I feel like I'm too quiet. Doesn't matter. I know what I'm saying. Oh, where am I supposed to go? Oh, okay. I like this. I like the scenery.
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
No, I wanna... Can I go back? No, I don't want to.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
I like that name. Whisper.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Well, don't have to ask me twice. Let's go. Well,
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
This game is definitely going to drag on if I talk about it. In which case, I do want to talk about it. And let's see, 9. I only have a 4-hour shift tomorrow, so I think I'd survive if I. Well, the original plan was to, like, let's see, start earlier for once, but that went out of hand. Anyways, enough of me. Let's get back to the game, I guess. Yahoo! Oh god, I forgot I'm scared of space.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment
Help
for
me.
him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
I want to eat all those stars like chips. I did it. I made it to the back rooms. Oh.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Okay. The past was behind her. What was it supposed to...
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
But the future cannot be seen. Why does the future keep changing? Is there more? Oh, I see. When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. Whoa. Yeah, I played this game like back in, what was 6 years ago? 2015. But if the future is always behind her, I was still, I don't know. Whoa. How will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
You see, I don't really have a real conversation or explanation to this game of like why I'm playing it and why I'm explaining that the first time I played it was 6 years ago. But I thought I'd give that a mention just so like people know that I do know how this game turns out. Sort of. I don't know, this game still stuck with me throughout all those years. And I thought I'd just give it another go. Kind of like a, what would you say? A callback, I guess? I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. What did that say again? You are now entering?
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting. Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Just like me and my 1 million work in progress sketches. Let's go. I had a dream about this
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Where's the enter button? Oh. What happens if I go back down? I've never tried that. Can I? Well, I already got up here, so. Peace, serenity. A button you press.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Play as a camera filling an advertisement.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Wow. You construct the wall is destroyed. Oh man, I wanted to read those. Huh? The title says story time, so I don't really know what story to tell. I've kind of already told my experience with this game at first hand. Well, not really. More vague. And there's a lot of dialogue in this game, so I'd get cut off, like as you've already noticed. So let's just keep going.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
I remember my first time trying to solve this. It took me a long time, I think. But yeah, it took me hours. Not exactly hours, that's an exaggeration, but...
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
It's a sucklet. I was gonna try and take this game more serious, but kind of like doing my own thing and my own kind of commentary, I guess. Making fun, I could say. Kind of cheering me up, not gonna lie, but I just want to apologize in advance if that ever gets
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, Now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Why would you need to do that? Never mind, there's no way out.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it? Aha! So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
I forgot how this game goes actually. I don't know why, but it's been blotched out of my memory.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
The streetwise fool.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
I don't want to go down there yet. I know it's down there. I can't go up here. I can climb these stairs though. Oh, I see. There's nothing up there. Okay, let's go. Oh, this is what he was talking about. The boxes. I had a dream about this once. Oh shit, I'm gonna die. I lied. I'm okay. Normal. I lied. I'm not okay. Oh. Wait, why does this look familiar? Staircase looks way too familiar to me. Let's keep going. What? Hello? This is it, boss. I've been arrested. Where do I go? Oh, do I go in there? But what if I go somewhere? I can't. Okay.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Okay. Whoa.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Goodbye, familiar stairs. It's the sucklet face again.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Wait, is the sucklet face and this door connected? Is that the signature?
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Oh, you can still see the box edges. You see, I currently go to college for art, animation, 3D modeling, game design, all that jazz. And maybe I could learn to make something like this. You there.
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Did you come up from above? What was up there? Yes, there were these floating colored blocks. That's the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? I'd prefer not to tell you. After all, we've only just met. What? But you don't understand. We are trapped here. That puzzle is our only escape. We need to get through it. You think you want to get through, but trust me, you don't. Oh no, but I do. We do. We need to get there. Do you understand? It is the most important thing in the world. We have to escape this prison. I am a slow reader. I didn't read that. I guess. What? Could you repeat that, please? I guess not. Oh. How did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? No, I've been right here this entire time. I suggest you go and see the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the black space in the middle. What happens if I solve it? Who are you? Just go hang out in there in that blackness for a bit. You might not like it at first, but it'll grow on you. Eventually. What will grow on me?
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level. It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Oh, just like the headspace. Wow. This is Wait a second. Nice room, not.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played. But it's ironic, isn't it, that in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
In a world full of notes, one man will read all of them. This summer, you will believe blue speech bubbles can talk. Do you feel like a hero yet? This game is so nice. I would like it when I could. Do not be afraid. Do care. I saw a flying pig. Huh? Oh my god, that's such a long note. Hello? Huh? Wait, I'm gonna read this. I just saw a flying penguin. Let me tell you, it was the most majestic thing I have ever seen. I don't feel like living because nothing will ever be as majestic as that. I never want to see again if nothing will ever be that beautiful again. I am crying now, and I plan on ripping my eyes out. I must go not do that. Me too, bro. What the shit is this cavern? Boring. I can assure you, guaranteed, that there is an acorn somewhere here in this place, and the sailors are looking for it. Hey guys, just looking for someone to talk with. Me too, buddy. I refuse to believe. Ha! I need to go to... Yeah. Recognize me, please. There's nothing here. Go back. Don't listen to that guy. A free t-shirt. Need other side. Door why you so. Door how open. Open sesame. Makes game. Includes door. Cannot open door. Thanks. What was that? Someday I will meet the person who made this. I help people because of the internal good feeling I get. Your room? Do you hear the chimes? They get going, don't they? Chimes? It's not very crowded here. You can go in here, I think. Don't bother. This is where I get off. I failed to write anything here. Stop. Turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery. Cabbage shapes our nation. So true. Hey, don't talk about me that way. I think this is not going anywhere. I need someone to talk to. This is a note? Don't listen to the other notes. I'm not safe. Painting. What does it mean? Whoever made this has issues. You don't say. Who are all of you? beat the game!
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Are you there? Please say something. It can be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having such difficulty talking? Speak, 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 speak.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Well, that was interesting. Wait, I spaced out one. Huh? That's a yummy wall. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I wanted to eat all those speech bubbles like chips. But also, weirdly enough, that's kind of like how the headspace looks like.
See, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
I didn't realize that was the... Whoa, that's the well. You go into the... What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? Put a giant hole in the ground. That's not a hole. Okay, now, what about along the wall of the room? Let's put 10 stoves lined up along the wall, like Minecraft. Those are not... I think we should light up this room a bit. A skylight full ceiling window. Let's open this baby up. Okay. And a table. You need a table. That's a table right there, isn't it not? Were tables invented in 1939? 35? Who are you? Where exactly are you doing this from? What?
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
I'm in IKEA.
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello. Please walk forward. What about oh, there's nothing back there. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Take care that you remember each step. First, click on this table. Good. That's the succulent face. Is there a door somewhere? Wait. Never mind. Good. Go over to the photo frame and click it to turn it slightly. Now, turn the floor lamp in this room off and then turn it back on. Now go to the left side sofa. Move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Hello? Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? So you were trapped in this prison too?
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Yeah, I was in the reverse prison. That's where I am right now. Oh, I'm so glad to know that I get out eventually. What's it like to escape? It's strange, but in a way, I kind of miss being in the prison. Why? Was there anything about it that you felt good about? Being here sucks. It was comfortable. I knew its limits. I knew my place. I do that too, I guess. But is that just how I'm going to be forever? I'd really like to change that. No, I think you'll find a way to change. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were chopped? No, I think I'm the first person to call back. Then can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? To get out, you need to tell me how you feel right now. What? That will free me? How does that work? Just tell me how you feel. Okay. I feel afraid that nothing will ever change. Go on.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice? So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself? To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Well, my goodness. I'm glad as heck you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself. And right miserable would that have been.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Don't worry about me. A place this nice, I'll be glad to stay here all night. Hold on, I can't see the text. Well, now you just might be getting a little ahead of yourself there, you know? Why don't we start cleaning here, and then you decide whether you could do it all night. I'll finish up here in the meantime. Could you please clear the table? Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. 1 second. Sorry, it's hard to see the text. I'm trying to see. I'll fix it. Is that it? Hold on. Oh. Just really ruined the experience, huh? One second. I'm really bad at this. It's been a while since I've streamed. I don't think I've ever streamed before, not gonna lie. Let's see. I just wanted to say that this stage, a lot of the stages from this game, is it? I'll read it out anyways. Anyways, as I was saying, a lot of the things from this game reminds me of dreams, and I guess I could say to you the headspace. It's more familiar, is all I'm trying to say. And that's kind of cool. Anyways, where were we? I'll finish up here. In the meantime, could you please clear the table? Much nicer that the table... That's the table I want to see. Now would you please run into the bathroom and make the bed? Oh, bedroom. Bedroom. Bed. While you're in there, why don't you straighten out the rug a bit? All the little details matter. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? Well, I don't enjoy it so much as I need it. While I'm working, I feel a kind of calm that rests in the pit of my ribcage. My soul just can't be soothed any other way, it seems. Which I guess is about all that matters. Oh, that and a tidy couch. Would you straighten the pillows on the sofa out there? Where? Oh. Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop that up as long as you're over there? I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. No, it was stupid, sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Last I checked, the tub needed a cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best you can? No need to be perfect. We're all just human. Are there still books scattered on the floor in the bedroom? If so, would you put them back on the shelf? I've always wanted a bookcase like this. Granted, I don't really read as much books, but perfect. Now then, how about you come and clear these dishes off?
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Are all houses this easy to clean? Darling, let me tell you something. In your lifetime, you are going to clean a lot of houses. And among all those, a few of them will stick out as truly wonderful, beautiful experiences. And none of them will be the ones
I know that Coda
were
really
easy.
liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
And none of them will be the ones that were easy. Just something to think about while you smooth out the rug in the bedroom. Looks like the tub has gotten rather dirty. Would you mind tidying it up a bit? Earlier, when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it, and it takes care of you. I don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. But there's a bit of truth in it, no? Anyway, so housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books. Would you please clean up the books? Thanks.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Oh goodness, those pillows over on the couch are a real mess. Would you go over and straighten them up a little bit? Can't have these folks coming home to a messy couch. Question.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Do you enjoy this?
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it. This one gets a bit goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your life? Who do you know who is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to who you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is, not how do we do it, but how do we do it effortlessly? This is easy. It is so
About halfway
easy.
through the game,
It
the
is so
perspective
easy.
shifts.
Being perfect is effortless. This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort?
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Well, let me tell you right now, if it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. If you are torturing yourself trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right. Seek out only one thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? There is no truth. There is no path. Do what is easiest. Do what is simplest. Feel what is true. Nothing. No one.
I fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days. This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
It's like Paper Mario, the the stage when you have to fight Rubber Band. This is the stage. I'm joking. Let's go back. I mean, continue. Well. All right, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you will be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against this wall. Good. Stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Hello? Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. Here are all my hopes and dreams. No. That's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need to better feel of the setting. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now talk to her again. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. You're messing it up all again. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this again. Everything was fine. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Try stepping. Okay, yes.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to
That's
fears
perfect.
of having to perform and having to chase success,
This is really
the
wonderful.
answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago,
You're doing great.
where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Mobius strip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Help, I'm blind. Please, someone talk to me. Am I going to get killed by the giant door? You're the navigator.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
The only way to stop it is to speak something that is honest. But what's honest here? I can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
I don't feel it anymore. Keep going. Keep talking. I haven't been honest. You're doing it. It's working. I'm stuck in it. We're going to be okay.
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? What? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. What's wrong? You look lost. I have nothing left to give to my work. Oh no. What's happened? Did something change? I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me, to start it again. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where it is. It isn't far. What? I can take you
If
to
the
it.
last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
I can take you to it, but there's a problem. It's guarded by a difficult puzzle. If you can help me solve the puzzle, we'll find the machine. Deal? It doesn't matter what I say, does it? You're going to end up there one way or another, right? Deal. Perfect. Come along. I'll show it to you.
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Here's the puzzle. What do you think? Hey, I recognize this. Sorry, there was noise. Oh, wonderful. Can you tell me how to do it? First, you have to open the door. Okay, now what? Now you have to close the first door. The space is white now. I could see inside the... Alright, what's next? Now you're supposed to press the switch here. Ha! That
You
was so
can't
simple.
talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Huh, that was so simple. I can't believe I never solved it before this. Also not unless we're a system, haha, a joke. Huh? I have nothing left to give to my work. Hello, is nothing there? Hello? What? Oh. Okay, here we are. What are you talking about? Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous, and that you love it 100% of the time. Okay, making games is easy. Ah, that feels wonderful. But it wasn't true. Don't worry about it. Just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. It's easy. It never stops being easy. Yes, that's wonderful. Keep
Seeing
going.
this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Just never stop creating, and you'll never feel bad. Perfect. That
This is
feels
someone I really cared
fantastic.
about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Please, where's the machine? Patience. You have to trust me. I promise this will work. Please continue. It always pays off eventually. Yes. More. Keep going.
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
I will be saved by my work. Incredible. That's it. I'm free. I'm free.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
This is hitting a lot harder. I mean, I guess I'm allowed to talk about this because it's a game like this, but I don't really have anything to add on to it except that I could relate to it. I think it's a good thing that they're able to make a game like this that you could relate to. That's a thing I've always strived for, is to make something, create anything that could help people, that people could relate to, and basically reflect on themselves, like I've always did with this game. Something life-changing. I know it's a huge ambition. That's a huge ambition for someone like me, but it's a thing that I've always strived for, and it, I have huge doubts that I'll ever make it that far, but I don't think I ever will, really, honestly. But games and like media, any sort of media, I've always looked with movies, like animation. That's the passion that I've had. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I guess you could say that it's like to show that there is a creator behind each of these medias, that maybe one day I could be like them. And that's sort of the hope that I've always kept, you know. Ma'am, I'm glad to see you arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda.
And of course, it's the machine.
You stopped. Your work was keeping us alive. It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. No? Nothing? Think carefully. I know how to hurt you. Alright then. I'll speak to them for you. My friends, I have a troubling revelation. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurt us. We will find a way to live without it. We do not need its games. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me. We will destroy everything that the machine has created.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work? So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Put down your weapon.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Funny enough, my college, its color design is actually gray and orange, or is it red? I don't remember. But like this color scheme right here, this color scheme, it's funny. I think that's funny. Where am I? Do I go this way?
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
And it's scarily close to...
This room actually has a maze in it.
Flash warning.
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise.
I don't
So
like
the
it.
experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
The oranges and grays.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
But what if I wanted to clean the house forever? What if I wanted to stay in that safe space forever? The safe space of like doing something you're most comfortable with. And not getting anywhere.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Unfortunately, things do have to keep going on. You can't just stay in this safe spot and keep doing one thing. That one thing, you gotta keep moving forward. That was the idea that this guy wants to incorporate, is that you have to keep moving forward. If you want to get anywhere in life, you gotta get out of that comfort zone to do what you want to do. And that's what we did. It's a hard path, but I have nothing else to say. It's just hard.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that. Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why.
Sometimes other people's problems are not yours to fix.
I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time. And as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them...
But that doesn't entirely make you a horrible person for trying. It's the thought of trying that really helps, but...
I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
Oh, the sucklet face. lost my train of thought. He's not a bad person for trying to be Koda's friend. And he's not a bad person for trying to help fix what was troubling Koda in the first place. But sometimes people are just... You can't really... Sometimes they're just not your problem to fix. And that's
I just
okay.
felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
That's funny because when I first played this game, I related to Davy. I thought I was Davy, but 6 years later, I'm replaying this game, and I relate to this Coda, but in a more complex sense that we're not actually these people, we're our own people, but the fact that we can relate to them, that's what makes this game so powerful. And it's not truly the same experience. Everyone has their own experiences. But the fact that they're so similar and that we can relate it's strong, and that's how you know it's a good game, I guess. That's how you know it's...
Where did I screw up?
You didn't screw up. You didn't screw up. I don't even know if what I'm saying is the truth or what I really believe, really.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
Dear Davy, thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you to not speak to me anymore. Yeah, that's the thing I was trying to say. I don't know why I couldn't remember that phrase. You can't save what doesn't want to be saved. But in this case,
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... It felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you. You so infected my personal space.
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere, hidden between games. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the boundary that keeps me safe? Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them? Would you
And then you stopped. And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Would you simply let them be what they are? When I am around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something, and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Where do I go? Oh. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I am talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Those are the chimes.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
I don't remember why that was relevant. The chimes. I thought You know, I used to have a friend way long time ago. They were my only friend, and we basically grew up together. But things got complicated once we got into middle school, I guess you could say. We used to be so close. But I was afraid.
Solution.
I was a horrible person. And I knew that. And I knew that I was messed up. And I knew that I could hurt them in some way. And that fear drove me away from them. But
I
in
guess
the
if
end,
someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed.
in
Maybe
the end
he
I
just
did
likes making prisons.
hurt them. I don't know what happened to me that made me this way, that I'm so afraid of making connections with people. But I guess I've always been that way. Driving people away. The stage with like the literal stage, and you have to try and talk to someone, try talk to your huge inspiration. Like I've done many times before. I've gotten to points where I've been there, I've talked to that person, I've talked to the person I've always looked up to. But as soon as they start to show interest back in what I do and like what I could do, and show that they want to be friends as well, I stray away. And that's what makes this game so powerful to me. It really helps me talk about all these things.
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Vice versa. What he just said now. I'm no longer friends with that person, by the way. I don't know why. They've never done anything. At least to my knowledge. There was someone I wanted to help, and they wanted to help me. We've both been through it. But we didn't know how. We just didn't know
If
how.
I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Because that's not a thing. That's being human. You need validation. That's a thing that everyone needs. It's just part of being human. I've always needed validation with my work. And
What now?
I can't do anything else without it. I can't continue without validation as well. It's why doing...
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay,
That's why schoolwork is so hard. Being the teacher's pet within all these art classes that I've ever taken, that's how I've even gotten through them. It's because I've been able to do something I'm passionate about and have someone higher in skill than me say that this is good. You know what you're doing and you're really good at what you do. And I'm so proud of you. And it's hard to accept that it's okay to have this validation sometimes. That, like, you know, it's something that, it's something, I don't know what to say. It's, you could say I relate to Davy in a way. As I was saying, I just remembered. Being validated with the stuff that I make, the art, the animation. It could be poisonous. Because now that I'm talking about this out loud, it's what stopped me. It's what stopped me from making everything that I do, that I loved. Because I wanted validation from other people. I needed that validation from higher up artists that I look up to. But in reality, I didn't need that validation. It's not something you need. It's what make you happy. It's what's make you happy to keep on going, to do what you... Of course, it's nice to have validation every now and then, but it's not something you have to really care about. It's what drives you to keep doing what you're doing. It's what drives you to keep creating. And it should be for yourself. It should be for your own happiness. That's another thing. It can feel worse once you get it, once you're used to it. And it could even feel worse that once you do get it, and then suddenly it snaps back at you. turn back. If I weren't streaming, I would be sobbing my eyes out right now. This game never fails to make me cry. I think I've replayed it like once or twice. Most likely once within my life. It's a game I like to go back to whenever I feel like I'm at my lowest points. I don't know why. It's a sad game. But yeah, people can be complicated, and depending on the person, like, sometimes they're not actually, I don't know, what you think they are, I guess I could say. I'm gonna bring back Werewolf just because, hold on. There he is. Sometimes you just need to see that you're heard, that you're not the only one feeling like that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. The beginner's guide. Yeah, so that was, I don't know if you've seen this game before. That's my comfort game. This is my comfort game. It's a good game. It really reminds myself of what could be, of what has been. Mm-hmm. Good game, good game. Speaking of games, I've looked at the schedule, well, like, the criteria, what do you call it? I don't know. The classes that I'll be taking, and a bunch of them focus on stuff like this composition, design, game design, I could say, level design, yes. And of course, animation, 3D modeling. If I never made it into the dream that I did have, that we did have, that we do have, maybe we could just make a game. always have to have that backup plan, right? It's weird and fucked up though. I don't really know the point of the stream. It was more of a to show off this cool game that I like and also talk about my feelings. That sort of stream is a dumb stream idea. Hi, Tapes. I guess it's a good test stream though, cause like no one will watch it, but. It was alright. Well, I think I'm gonna end it here. I gotta sleep and go to work tomorrow. Yeah. I did like it actually. I like to talk about things that I like a lot. Things that I'm passionate about and thoughts and feelings about stuff. I think I want to do more of these. I do have another game I'll probably stream. I don't know when. Probably, most likely before next term at least, after Christmas or before. Or, no, I'll just stream it. And hopefully at a better time. Well, nighttime was good for me because no one's awake and I don't have to worry about. But yeah. On a day that I don't have work the next morning. Certainly. The audio for this game cuts out whenever I lock out a screen. But yeah, thank you for coming for my first test stream. I know it's laggy. I was too lazy to fix it. Well, I did fix it, but for it to work, I would have to, exit the stream, and it's already gone that far, so. It should be better. The stream quality should be better by the next time. Okay. Well, I'm gonna end it here. Good night. The VOD will still be up, mostly for my own record, but that's there. This was really more of a stream for myself, to be honest. But I'm glad you take it along. Genuinely, I know that the tone of my voice doesn't really help, but genuinely, I mean that. Yeah, a good game to get my thoughts out on. Really good. I love this stream. It was a good stream. It's been a while. I never even streamed in what years, and I never even streamed a game before, so I'm glad that the Beginner's Guide is the first game that I've ever properly streamed. Well, good night.